the game as
adding
well.
or just changing players doesn't necessarily guarantee success, and it couldn't be more obvious with the Nashville Predators.
Oh
Like
boy,
they just changed their
continuing to be
roster, and
brutal.
now they don't know fucking who these guys are. They have no idea who the fuck they're playing with anymore. They had it like the reason that the Predators were good last season and why they looked
It's
so good
such an
against the Canucks and why
identity.
they had an identity. They knew where each other were. They played consistently. Like they were a very hard team to play against. The aggressive forecheck. They did not give you any space, and I saw that. I did see that when they played the Canucks the other
Yeah.
night.
I see
And
them
I
now
don't
this year,
know
and
necessarily
they
how
have all these
much.
new people who are trying to stretch the play more. And all that
Mhm.
does is it just kind of it takes away from what made them good.
What I saw in the Predators Canucks game was a Nashville Predators team that kind of fell back on their older identity and it worked. But if the Canucks had any sort of lethality in their execution and any sort of the Canucks seem like a team right now that's kind of struggling a little mentally. I don't think they're gonna miss the playoffs or anything. Like I think they'll get it, but they're kind of going through it a little bit right now and they have a little bit of doubt. And it's been a little bit of a weird season so far for Vancouver, and then they're gonna get through it. But what I was
Mhm.
saying when I was watching the Preds Canucks game is that the Preds were very aggressive defensively and they'd rush the puck carrier and they'd go 2v1. And the Canucks, the way that they needed to beat, and they did have some stretches that game where they did this, but the way you got to beat that is you got to stretch out the ice and you got to make clean, fast, hard passes so that you can as a team move the puck
Mhm.
faster than these defensemen can rush you to make a mistake. And then you can expose them because they're out of position and all of a sudden you opened up ice. And what happened is that the Canucks players, when they're getting rushed, were bobbling the puck, hesitating, making mistakes, making simple plays, and not opening up the game and cracking open. That Nashville team was very vulnerable and very beatable. All the Canucks needed to do was just execute and be lethal and not think too hard. You got hard tape to tape passes, quick north south up the ice, and you can beat this defensive system because the puck moves
Mhm.
faster than a player can do
Well,
or a
speaking of
player
that,
can.
watching the game right before that where the Flames beat the Predators,
Mhm.
I
What did
was
you
like
notice that
watching.
the Flames did that exposed the Predators
So I
specifically?
noticed a lot of what you're talking about though, where for most of the games, the main thing is Flames had like some really like they had some really consistent pressure where the forwards would like stretch into the offensive
Mhm.
zone and run
Mhm.
around, but most of the time Nashville was successful in containing them. But usually,
Mhm.
like the reason Nashville I noticed then didn't have much is because they'd contain them and then they get the puck in like a battle or a scrum, which basically lets the other team set up defensively and
Mhm.
makes it extremely hard for Nashville to escape. And whenever they try to stretch the ice, it just they haven't been cohesive. They like because the teams that do this properly, they collapse, then stretch it out and get really
Mhm.
good rushes, whereas
Mhm.
Nashville hasn't been successful in that. And the Flames, though, like they were playing the right style of forecheck and all that to uh, like keep Nashville back, but they were trying to do so much. And the goal that Miramanov got, the only one on a goalie, was a really crisp pass off the face off, quick shot went in, where they just didn't like think about what they're doing and try to do anything fancy. It was just
Yeah,
like pass here, shoot, done, and then it went in. And Nashville like just didn't really have an answer to that.
for sure. And it's very apparent just how much a coach has influence throughout a game because you can adapt and change your system and change the way you play
Yeah,
to try and beat
and
these
that was the
teams.
third period.
And sometimes teams just don't do that.